Hey, welcome back, everyone. We just saw that third place match, which means we're now into the last chance qualifier finals. There's a bunch of teams that signed up for this qualifier, but we're down to the last two. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for some of these players, Vengeance Gaming, who we saw lose that third place match, they entered this last chance qualifier, but they did lose in the semifinals. So the final match is between New Slaves and Aware Academy Live. You can kind of see the players there. And these are players you haven't seen yet on this show because they never made the finals of any of the earlier tournaments. But I do recognize some of their names just from playing online. I think you might recognize some of the names as well, Megan.
Sure, so the New Slaves roster, we've got Zoo, Makusen, Akio, Brojo, and MXL123. Which almost sounds like a license plate.
it might be his license plate, actually.
Well,
Now we can find him, right?
adorable.
Put that into the police, and we know where to find. If he kills you in the game, I think he usually plays Joker. You know where to hunt him down.
I've definitely played with several of these people before, I think just by chance, and I think a few of them may have just like, I don't know, been like, hey, maybe recognized because the IC in front of my name kind of gives it away that I work for Turbine. But yeah, they as far as I can remember, they seem to be pretty good players, so it's going to be kind of like a mystery, and we're just gonna see the way that they play, and we're gonna learn a lot about them all in this one match.
So they're up against Aware Academy Live, which is Rathazoon, Talaswiz, Advi, Fresh Snow, and Fido. So hopefully it should be a great match. It might be interesting to see some players you haven't seen before. Without further ado, let's just jump right into this final match of the Last Chance Qualifier. Okay, here we are. We can see, unfortunately, we missed the first minute or so of the video, but we do have, actually, we have Gaslight Batman at the top lane and Cyborg at the bottom. This is very different from what we've seen a lot. Normally, we have two Cyborgs on the top lane, but they're actually using Gaslight Batman instead, and Advi is playing Cyborg solo on the bottom lane, the short lane, as a one-person only lane, which is usually people think it's better to play the long lane as a solo lane.
Well, I think yeah, that's interesting. I think that the top lane usually is the safer pick because there's only those two big areas where you can come out of the jungle to gank, and it's a kind of a short distance to your turret when you need to fall back. So it's an interesting choice. Maybe they both of them just decided we're just gonna change the meta up, or maybe they don't care about the meta. They say, you know what, we don't even know what meta is. Let's just do what we want.
Meta is defined by players, and if they're going to be the best players, then they can define it themselves.
Very much so.
Uh-oh, looks like Advi's in trouble. Shazam knocks him down. Batman stuns him again. Joker hits him with Mr. Punchy. Is he going to escape? He's so close. Shazam with a lightning field, and Batman gets the final blow. Takes a couple tower shots. But they definitely wanted to kill Cyborg. They hunted him down, surrounded him from every side, and just beat his little metal body into the ground.
Oh, poor Advi. Just dead so soon, and Zatanna's definitely going to also want to get out of that top lane right there. The aggression from a double marksman lane up here with Mecha Wonder Woman and Gaslight Batman against... Well, I mean, you got two other marksmen, but I don't know. I think Gaslight Batman has the simplicity. He has the ease of the harass, but the fact that his Batarang will bounce to targets that he's already basic attacked. So we're going to see... we're also going to see Mecha Wonder Woman, knowing that there's a camera right in there. It looks like Shazam didn't even know what was happening. Brojo able to pick up that kill and escape. Wow.
You know, I've actually done that myself. You go back and you assume you're going to get back, so you start looking at the item shop and picking out your item. And also you're like, wait a minute, it won't let me buy the item. And then your screen goes gray and you're like, no, they found me.
And I'm blinking red. I'm bleeding from every part of my body.
That's not good. It looks like New Slaves is actually, they're playing extremely aggressive, but yet it looks like it's worked out, but they're barely ahead in credit. So it's actually almost a dead even game. Kill death is still very even as well. Oh, Zatanna misses the combo on Gaslight Batman, and he was at half life, so that would have done a ton of damage.
Yeah, and nearly, if he had stood next to Brojo, I think Brojo would have gone down. Zatanna is one of those, as we in the MOBA community will call them, I have always considered her to be the sleeper OP, and people sort of did not agree, but I've seen a lot of play, and in the competitive matches as well, I've seen some play on her, which is interesting because one of the Zatanna changes was that she was, like, her combo was slowed down so that there'd be more counterplay to it.
Yeah,
so,
that's a very hard combo to counter. Like, it's you lose half your life, and you're like, wow, that kind of sucked. It looks like Advi's going after Joker. So you said it was slowed down, but you were still seeing a lot of Zatanna being used, right?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. She must be really powerful, and I think people really are starting to recognize that. that, you know, between the sustain and the AoE like burst, she's really strong. Fresh Snow is not having a good time in this jungle here. They are not letting him get away with anything. His enemy Shazam and Batman just have this stupid stick power. I don't think he's gonna get away. We're gonna see pretty much the same thing that happened last time. Wow. Oh my gosh, they actually decided to peel off because Mecha Wonder Woman came to Fresh Snow's aid, which was very kind of her. Very, very kind.
You know, Team New Slaves, their junglers, Batman and Shazam, are just so aggressive. It's just absolutely insane. They've crossed over the map and went after Cyborg. They've gone after Shazam. But at the same time, it also means that, you know, when they were chasing Shazam, they were both level 3. And he, even though he died, was level 4. So, you know, they've been getting the kills, but because they've also not been as active in clearing out the jungle, they may not, you know, be generating a whole ton of credits or experience that way.
Right, exactly. And I don't know, I think that Shazam and Batman are both really strong people even early on, and of course Shazam's power peaks once he gets his ultimate, but you can do a lot of stuff with Batman's basic attacks and just the general combo he has once he gets his 3 basic abilities, because like when he steps into his stealth pad, he gets the extra armor from his passive and the regen, so he basically has all the stats in the world with the exception of power damage that he wants. So in terms of like 1v1 fighting, he's super great.
Well, it looks like he's still back by the power relay, but he may be coming in here as there's a lot of damage to be done. Shazam goes after Mecha Wonder Woman. She pops in vulnerability. Will be enough. No, it's not. Fresh Snow being aggressive, but it's 1-on-3 and he's low on life. And he almost was able to finish off the kill, but not quite. And that's 2 more kills for the New Slaves.
It looks like it's panning out relatively similar to the game we just saw between KGO and Vengeance, but I don't know. I think it's still any man's game at this point. Well, maybe we'll see some sort of disparity right here. In 30 seconds, the Raider's going to be spawning in the bottom lane, and it looks like the red team is already there setting up for it.
They've got, in fact, they're sitting all 5 players. Often you kind of keep one champion at the top lane just to make sure someone's picking up the credits and experiences from the drone kills. But they said, you know what? We're behind. We want to make sure we get this Raider kill. We're going to do it by having our entire team here at the bottom to secure this kill. And it looks like right now, I mean, they're dominating the area. They have the New Slaves pushed back behind where the Raider spawns. And now they're going after it. 3 of them, 4 of them are on it. Can New Slaves get the last shot? No. Aware Academy does get the Raider kill, but now all of a sudden they're in a full retreat as New Slaves is just slaughtering them.
Yep. And see, that's the price that you pay for going for the Raider as well, because it's a risky thing. You either need to get the Raider and get out with only losing a couple of your team, but it looks like they're actually going to lose their turret as well, and I don't think that Shazam and Batman can actually defend this. Even Mecha Wonder Woman came down from the top lane because she picked up the turret, but Batman, you do not want to go in this fight. You do not. And Fresh Snow too, going in with his ult, but there's just an incredible amount of damage from the Mecha Wonder Woman ultimate, and Batman Prime on the blue side just goes in, picks up that kill, and I feel like they can just take this turret and leave, or even just...
They're also low on life, though.
But so, I mean, it's so low, like the turret is so low at this point that whenever they want to go in, they can just get it. Yeah,
it's definitely just a matter of time. They decided to back out now probably because they're like, well, Zatanna might just kill us all if we stay around being on our current life. And actually, oh no, will they get back in time? Mecha Wonder Woman was like a second from throwing all her frisbees out and slicing them up.
Frisbees?
Well, they kind of look like frisbees. They're the thing that Xena throws. What's that called?
Glaives.
Glaives, there you call it. They're frisbees at death. That's what they are.
Frisbees of death.
Yes.
I mean, I guess you don't really want anything that ends in of death thrown at you.
No.
Even if it's like hamster.
That's even more scary. It's like a killer bunny, a killer hamster, pretty much.
They're so cute.
They're so cute until they have very sharp teeth, maybe. I don't know. I've never seen one of death.
I imagine them turning into like a bomb.
Yeah. So we do have Cyborg here. He switched over to the top, and he's just trying to find some lane where he can go and farm. That's what Cyborg loves to do, is just farm throughout the game until he gets rigged in the late game. Yeah. And they're trying to pick up that tower kill you're talking about. They do get a kill on Mecha Wonder Woman and a kill on Zatanna and a tower kill. So they were looking for a tower kill. They got a couple champion kills as well. And this is looking pretty brutal for Aware Academy.
Poor Fresh Snow too. Like, all he wants to do is get some credits in the jungle, but the enemy junglers from New Slaves just will not let that happen. And that's tough, especially when you're somebody like Shazam. And I know Shazam is incredibly powerful, but when you shut him down early, he's one of the toughest to come back with, because he needs those levels to deal damage and to be able to take it. And look, they're even taking the power relay too, and gosh, that Shazam on Shazam action ending with Fresh Snow's poor body in the dust.
Oh, but that was a great ultimate from Mecha Wonder Woman there from Aware Academy, putting a ton of damage on New Slaves. Could this be the start of a comeback? New Slaves are on very, very low life, but Shazam's in the middle. But now Fido comes in with Batman, trying to finish off the champions. They're all so low. But
oh
no.
my gosh. That has to be the biggest feeling of frustration for Aware Academy because they actually almost secured them all. Oh, Fresh Snow, please! I want to see.
He has his ultimate. He has his ultimate. Can he? Oh, he saves the power relay. He gets 1 kill. He gets 2 kills. And there's no way Batman can escape. Oh, I thought his Q would have come up. No, he can't escape. But 2 kills, or actually 3 kills, I think he got. Excuse me. He killed 3 out of the 5. And you know what? And you know what's crazy about it is he has had to have an insane number of credits, right? Because they were all fed.
Yep.
I didn't see it there for a second, but the way the game works is if you kill someone who has a higher score, has been killing you, basically you get a lot more credits. So instead of getting 200, 300, 400 gold, you might get 600, 700 gold, and that's gonna make him very dangerous. So yes, New Slaves is still way ahead. They're still ahead by 7K credits, but if anything can make a comeback, it's a move like that where all of a sudden, you know, Aware Academy has you know, extremely Fresh Snow is basically going to be maybe as strong as anyone on New Slaves just from that triple kill.
Yeah, it's good. He finally, at least that was probably really satisfying for him considering the amount of abuse he's been taking throughout the early game. So it was a great play on his part. He knew that he needed to do it, and he was able to pick up kills and get the relay back and not die. So that was pretty good.
That was karma right there.
Yeah,
karma for all the times he's been beaten up throughout this game. But it's not going to stop the aggression from New Slaves. They're still pushing forward. Looks like 3 on this top lane. What are they looking to do? They're just kind of hanging out in the jungle. Looks like they're pinging a Doomsday device. They may go for that. Is Aware Academy aware that this could be happening? No, Aware Academy has 3 protectors, or 3 champions hanging along the bottom lane. Shazam's back home and Saga's at top, so the Doomsday device will go to New Slaves without anything contesting it at all.
Well, the bright yellow Joker is actually running around, just kind of drawing the attention of Aware Academy, and yeah, that was a good play.
Oh, they want that power relay. They're like, all right, Shazam, you saved it one time, but now we're gonna blow it up with a giant explosion, return it to neutral, and they're gonna take that. But on the other hand, I think the Raider is probably, I assume that's why Batman's lurking out there. I think the Raider is probably about to pop up.
Yeah, after it dies around the 7-minute mark, it respawns 6 minutes from whenever it dies, and I think they got it.
Yeah, I think they just got it. So, is that worth the loss of the power relay? It's hard to tell.
No, you know, I would say that it's not, only because they're already losing in terms of turrets, so they need the strength of their drones to kind of ward off against it.
It looks like they're cornered here, and Shazam comes in there, takes out Zatanna. Batman was trying to work on Mecha Wonder Woman, but he's not going to get it. And now Advi, he's running towards the wrong base, but he turns around. Can he take on Batman? It looks like, oh, Batman's going to barely escape using the shadows to help him with that. Is Advi going to get away?
Yeah,
wow.
I think that he will. Like,
yeah.
It's a very precarious place for him to be in, but nobody can get there in time.
Wow, he does just barely get away. And, you know, that looked like it was a disaster because it looked like they were cornered. They were outnumbered. But yet I think the only one to die, I think they only lost 1 champion there, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was, they were able to kind of salvage that situation and all kind of scrambled, ran different directions for someone able to escape.
They were just in a tough spot. In general, you know, because they're getting pushed, and this is kind of what we saw happen to Vengeance last time too. Maybe it's the red team, maybe being on the red side is a curse, but I don't know. They need to defend their base, but they also need to not give up kills, and they also need to secure kills somehow. So at this point, I think they just need to make sure that they're all together. They can't get picked off 1 by 1, and they can't get Shazammed on unless they plan on Shazamming back. Yeah,
it's all about the Shazam here. You know, one thing, New Slaves is doing very well this game, and New Slaves is playing 2 different champions that we don't see too often. We haven't seen it in IC Winter Open yet too often, and that's Joker and Gaslight Batman. And how do you think that's affecting their... They're also playing kind of a crazy style where they're everywhere. Is that crazy style a style that suits champions like Gaslight Batman and Joker?
I would say that the Joker can benefit from it pretty substantially. Ever since the stun was taken off of his ultimate, he is a little less formidable than he was before. I shouldn't say a little, substantially less formidable. But I feel like he's just the biggest troll champion in that sense. He can get away so easily, but Oh my gosh. 2 Mecha Wonder Women kill each other with their ultimates.
Wow, I mean, that's kind of what happens when you have 2 people with giant cannons looking at each other. A couple other deaths, and actually, Aware Academy with a great job there because their Mecha Wonder Woman got a lot more damage in addition to killing the other Mecha Wonder Woman, putting out a ton of damage on the rest of the New Slaves roster. But that's not going to dissuade Joker. He's still hanging around, picking off a few drones. And meanwhile, Batman is actually, wow, he found his way to the top turret. He's going to take that down as well. You know, they're so spread out and all over the place that I guess to me it kind of makes a little sense why they pick Gaslight Batman over Cyborg for their main, you know, ranged attack damage dealer. Because Cyborg, if he's running everywhere, he gets caught off. He's like, well, I'm just dead. Whereas at least Gaslight Batman, he can swing away. He's a little bit more mobility to move around the map.
But I mean, with Joker too, at least Joker, he has the presence and he has the way. But I mean, Gaslight Batman, once he uses his E, he's, you know, that's him.
Yeah, that's him. It looks like they're all fighting over this top power relay. Aware Academy's bunching up, trying to take down Batman, but he just won't go down. They were all focusing Batman, and for some reason he wouldn't die, and he's just gonna kill them all. How did he not die there? It looked like the whole team was going after him.
Well, that's when you put your ultimate on, you gain all of that defense.
Yeah, and he definitely was in the shadows throughout that engagement, so there's a lot of dead bodies.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah,
too many dead bodies right there.
Too many for Aware Academy. At least the icing on the bad cake is the fact that they have Mecha Wonder Woman taking out her at the bottom while that was going on. Uh-oh, she's gonna get out of here. This could be dangerous. Yeah, she's gonna have to run. Naki Shazam is after her. Uh-oh.
See, at this point, I mean, they already, especially the Mecha Wonder Woman where she is right now, no reason for her to be there when all of her team is kind of fighting. At least I would say that maybe she's trying to draw some fire, but she's really playing on the risky edge there because she can't guarantee where the enemy team is.
That is true. I mean, she knew they're at the top at one point, which is why she was able to push that tower and take it out at the bottom. But as soon as that went down and that fight at the top was over, that was a signal that they could be coming down to get you. She does escape safely, though, and the rest of the team is all gathering around here. Shazam comes in, another Shazam comes in, a Mecha Wonder, 2 Mecha Wonder ultimates, and basically everyone's dead yet again. This time, though, New Slaves, I think, with a slide edge, unless Fresh Snow can turn around. No, is he going to go down? Yes, he is, and the entire team from Aware Academy is down, except for Rathazon, who's going to try to hang on and defend a turret, but that was not... You know, now I guess New Slaves is free to go ahead and grab the Doomsday device, right?
Yep. And it's still early in the game, so the respawn times for Aware Academy aren't going to be too punishing, but, you know, it definitely adds up. Every time you die, you count the time that it takes to respawn, the time that it takes to run back to base, and the time that it takes to get yourself situated. It's not a fun venture, and you can feel the experience in the credits just seeping away, and especially when you see the Raider just explode, and you know that your enemies are on top of it. It's kind of dismaying.
They were going for the Raider, and then they see it's not there. That was definitely dismaying for them. And now we can see they're down by 12k credits. It's still not quite as bad as the advantage KGO had last game over Vengeance. I mean, you can just tell from the kill to death is not 34-2. It's, you know, 28-12.
Yeah, so, they're definitely putting up a fight of their own, but they're not even safe in their own jungle. Yeah,
you know, the New Slaves are just so... They're so aggressive. You know, this reminds me of when we watch KGB play, is that they're just absolutely ruthlessly aggressive. Another engagement here in a very tight, confined area. Shazam ultimates can't be dodged. And Joker ultimate does a ton of damage as everyone has to pretty much run through it. And I think that Joker ultimate actually might have just did way too much there, as the entire Aware Academy live, or basically the ones who were there died. The ones who weren't there running to support realized that all their buddies were dead.
Yep. And Joker Ultimate actually takes a lot of trouble to set up properly now without the stun on it. So it must have been good positioning, and having that a lot of damage by the Joker ult is kind of a satisfying feeling. Not as satisfying as before, because it was pretty awesome to stun people, but that was definitely a really good play by the Joker, and you can see that he still has not lost his strength. They actually gave the Doomsday device to Gaslight Batman, And I think that kind of shows how aggressive they're willing to be and how unafraid they are of any of the engagements that are going to be happening.
Well, Gaslight Batman is also good with gadgets, right? He's invented sonic pistols, he's invented all these crazy weapons. So you'd think he'd be pretty good at using a Doomsday device.
Yes.
Either him or Mecha Wonder Woman. I mean, she's a robot, right? So she should know how explosives work.
Oh yeah, she can calculate it. She should be able to calculate the distance perfectly.
She should be able to. Looks like she's actually isolated, not realizing that might not be good to be on her own at the bottom. And the Aware Academy are just being super defensive, hanging out, making sure that none of them are exposed or say that Doomsday device is around. We don't want to, you know, be too vulnerable with that. And they're using a Doomsday device as basically an anchor point saying, we're going to grab this power relay. If you try to fight us, we're just going to blow you all up.
Oh yeah, Fresh, no, you don't want it. Went in to just kind of see if they were doing it. You can see it on the map, but I think he was like, maybe, possibly I can do something, but probably the good choice to back out of that. And Batman on blue side, Aki just going for the top point, and now they're going to get all three of those. And with the Doomsday device about to fire in 13 seconds, they're probably just going to pop it on them or their turrets and just deal a lot of oof.
Getting both the power core turrets, and now, you know, their champions are stronger. Fresh Snow's trying to do something there, but he goes down fairly quickly. Fido goes down as well. Zatanna trying to use her magical ways, but she's just barely getting away on her retreating end. But it looks like Rathazun, actually, can he turn around? Oh, he just gets away too. And now Advi's coming back, gets a kill, going after Joker. Oh, one Mr. Punch, he almost took him out there. But that was actually very good defense. I think they traded roughly evenly in people dying, which, I mean, if you're behind, trading evenly means you're actually slightly probably closing in on them credit-wise, and it's probably the best you can hope for. So that was a really well put together defense. They all backed away right before they would die.
I think that was excellent, but I do wonder what would have happened if Batman Prime had been Redgun and not in the top lane.
If it wasn't a 4-on-5, yeah.
You're right. I
mean, I think he was doing the safer play, which is to make sure we had the power relays no matter what, right?
Right.
But it also means his team was in on a 4-on-5. But now he's at full life and ready to go again. So we'll see what they're going to do. Looks like they're just going to plow through all these drones. But their own drones, okay, they're right behind them. You really always want to have your own drones when you be pushed, just because if you don't, then the enemy turrets and drones are all going to be dealing damage to your champions, as well as, of course, having to fight the enemy champions.
Well, if you're Akio, of course you don't care. You're just Shazam, or Batman, you just throw down your shroud.
Yeah, he's like, if I'm in the darkness, I'm all good. Of course, that is the Dark Knight's ultimate, is to make things dark. And he gets stronger.
Fitting.
Yeah, it makes sense. And they're a little scared to push in without drones. We can see how quickly the first drone wave died. And the power core turrets, I mean, at this point, like you said, with as, you know, strong as they are, they won't die instantly to a turret, but it's still the extra damage that could sway the battle to engage without drones.
Yep, and now the Mecha Wonder Woman ult on New Slaves has just come back up.
Yeah.
So I think if they force this fight, they can probably just kill them all and take those turrets.
Oh, and look at how she tried to get away back safe, then she used the ultimate. Shazam did find her, not before she used the ultimate, but I think he is going to be able to finish her off. Oh, no!
Oh, my God.
He was unable to, and wow.
I can't even believe that. It really looked like he was going to get her, and that was probably, like, the most upsetting denial of all. Because she totally should have gone down. She needed to be flicked, and she would have died.
And that's one of those things where he knew that's his job was, right? Was to go after Mecha Wonder Woman, and he did. He used his ultimate to cross her ultimate, got right next to her, did his best to take her down, almost took her down, but then she just turned around, threw a frisbee of death at him, and that was it.
It's the end for Shazam, but it was definitely, there were a lot of good plays on Fresh Snow. I could see him knowing exactly what he needed to do and trying to execute it, but just because of the fact that New Slaves were so ahead by that time, even when he was doing things right, he just couldn't get in there and deal the damage that he needed to do. He couldn't survive even when he was dealing the damage that he needed to do. So I think it kind of just came to, as a team, overall New Slaves had such a good hold over the objectives that they couldn't really do anything on the Aware Academy end.
Yeah, that's really what it came down to. There was a couple fights. The first couple fights all went New Slaves' way, but then there was a couple engagements where Aware Academy really fought back and got the upper end, but they weren't able to capitalize on those engagements. And so I don't think they ever had I think they only had even power relays like once or twice. And for most of the game, they were down in power relays. Most of the game, they didn't have the Raider. They only got it the one time when it wasn't being contested because the other team is going after the top power relay, which, of course, is probably more important. And the objectives are so huge in a game like Infinite Crisis where it's, if your drones are stronger, you're going to push the lanes. If you push the lanes, then you have so much more map control, which means you can take the power relays again. So
exactly.
it's something that to break it, you need to pull some really cool moves, some really good team engagements at the right points. You need to force the team engagements right before the objectives come up, so that if you win, you can then take the objective before the other team's back up and ready. So after this, we now know our 4 teams for the playoffs next week. We know it's going to be KGB, it's going to be Vex Gaming, it's going to be KGO, it's going to be New Slaves. And after seeing, we've seen definitely KGB, Vex, and KGO a bunch of times over the past few weeks, but seeing New Slaves the one time, do you have any predictions or things to look for in the playoffs?
I mean, I don't want to say it, but I really feel like KGB has such a stranglehold on all of these teams right now. But, there's a lot of time to prepare and to really practice, and I think that KGB isn't unbeatable so much as they haven't been beaten yet.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. And I mean, that is the biggest storyline is can KGB be beaten? Because so far, no one's even really come close. But it's the playoffs. It's going to be best of 3s. So even if you lose one match, you can revise, maybe do new picks, come up with a different strategy. And what I'm excited to see is, for example, New Slaves is playing a lot of new characters, right? They were playing Gaslight Batman, who we don't see. By new, I just mean we don't see him from Team KGB or Vex or KGO very often. We don't see Gaslight Batman very often. New Slaves is playing him. You don't see Joker very often either. They were playing him. So I think it's going to be really interesting because you mentioned KGB has this kind of the stranglehold, right? But you can see other teams are trying new things, and we haven't seen can KGB beat the newer version of KGO that now is playing Wonder Woman Prime as one of their key players.
I'm interested to see that sort of matchup.
Yeah, and how are they going to deal with the Joker or with Gaslight Batman? These new champions that kind of are going to change. Basically, it's going to change the way the engagements happen. It's going to change the way the game flows. And for a team that's just used to certain, like, it's Cyborg versus Cyborg on top lane, Shazam and Batman in the jungle, and at the bottom, a support or 2 supports, Zatanna, Poison Ivy, Mecha Wonder Woman, they might have to rethink things, and that might throw them off their game and be what the other teams need to hopefully give them a good match. Give them a good match.
Hopefully. I mean, I like I said, I'm pretty sure that KGB, at this point, probably pretty proud of themselves, and they have every right to be, considering how well that they're playing. But it would be interesting to see somebody kind of contest that.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see it again. The finals are next Friday and Saturday. The semifinals, or the playoffs, semifinals are next Friday at 7 p.m. The grand finals will be next Saturday at 7 p.m. All broadcasted live to you guys for $5,000. Just a couple more games of Infinite Crisis. Which team gets the $5,000? Will it be KGB? Will it be Vex Gaming, KGO, or New Slaves? We'll find out next week, and I'll see you guys then.